Good morning. So I'm back, back at it. Hopefully we've got no leaks while I was sleeping. So yeah. All right. So now that we have a solid system that's not leaking, I'm going to try to mix the functions on the arms. We are going into the mix menu. There we go. The first thing we'll do is just, so we got channel 3 and 4 is going to be mixed with channel 5. So the master should be mixed with the slave as like this, and this one should be, let's see here, let's see if we can figure this out. Alright, so this is the settings that I'm going to use. I should also mention that on the endpoints I've adjusted channel 5 to 40% and 0%. This ESC is a bi-directional one, which means it will turn the pump in reverse if you pull it the wrong way. So I've disabled one of the ways. As you can see, it says 0, and that's because I don't want it to be able to go in reverse like this. So it only goes forward when I press it down, and if I press it up, it won't go in reverse. Right, so that's why I did that, and we are going to mix channel 4 with channel 5, and this one was alright, and this one was positive 100, I think. Alright, so the mixing is now finished. As you can see, when I press down, the main cylinders will go up, and I press to the side, alright. So I'm going to run these all the way out and then mount the arms, and these will run those all the way out as well. Alright, I got the lights mounted up. It was really tight in here, but I was actually supposed to add these lights earlier when this plate was off, but yeah, it is what it is. And there's also a hole for the wires in the middle, but I didn't use that on this one because this is an early version with no holes on these plastic parts, and I already glued the wires inside. So I'll be running the wires back here, and yeah, You can see where I'm having them. Right, so I've got the hydraulics working and the whole arms and bucket is now assembled. Now I'm going to connect the steering arms. So we are going to add the mud guards next. These are printed in TPU, which makes them almost like rubber. So the mud guards on the rear will be glued onto the fenders. So we have a slot here, and they will go like this. Alright, so I've forgotten to create some mounting holes on the interior part. So there's 2 screws, one on each side, coming in for these holes, which will lock the interior onto the frame. I'm going to drill a hole in here so I can attach a screw in here now. I forgot to put this on the roof. It's super easy though, so I'll go ahead and do it. So here you can see the handrails. This is a part that's just squished in between the cabin and the roof, so it's super easy to put it on there. So we are almost finished with the Cat 980. Right now I'm missing the wheels and I'm missing the front fender flares. I'm printing the flares just as I speak, and I remember on my Komatsu HM400 build that the wheel hubs, the screws on the hubs hit these screws, the 2 screws that are closest to this axle. So I'm going to swap out all of the screws that sits close to this axle to prevent it hitting the hub. Alright guys, so I'm going to attach the hubs to the motors, and I'd recommend that you don't use the set screws that come with these hubs. I recommend that you use this instead. So this is a hex socket screw. It's got a much bigger head and you can tighten it a lot more. So all the wheel hubs are now on, and I'm going to mount the wheels onto the loader. And there we have it guys. The Cat 980 is now finished. And I gotta say, I'm super happy with how this turned out. It turned out a lot better than I expected it to. It seems to be super strong, but we will see. At least it's very heavy, it's super heavy. So as you probably saw, I have a cooling fan mounted inside here for the pump. However, I didn't connect it to the battery yet. I will do that later. And I would also like to install a sound module inside of this. But I will do that later, and I'm very tired right now. So before I end this video, I'm going to show you the functions and how it works. So you got the transmitter, and you bring the bucket up by pressing this down. And then you curl the bucket with this sideways. And this is the maximum lift, and then this is the maximum curl down. Yeah. And then we have maximum curl back, like this. And we set the bucket down. And you can also move the bucket forward a lot. So the hydraulics are a bit slow, but I don't mind. I like riding slow with these machines. So I'll try it outside and see how it feels, and so far it looks and feels very good on the hydraulic part. And then I'll bring the bucket up a bit. And I drive it forward with this, forward like this, and then backward. And then we steer with this like this. So I'll bring it to its maximum steering angle, and I'll show you how wide it can steer. So that's 45 degrees one way. And the other way. All right. Okay guys, so it's getting late again. And I've been working very late during nights on this thing, especially last night when I had all the trouble with the components like the hydraulics, and we had a FlySky transmitter that had a broken screen, and yeah, I still don't know what the outcome of those situations will be, I'll probably just leave it as it is. Yeah. Now, as for the loader, the files for this will be available after I tested it, of course, and I have to create a build manual for it, and yeah, it will be a while. So if you want to build this, the files will come. I just don't know when. You'll just have to wait. So I'm going to the club tomorrow, and I'm going to swap out the bucket. I'll put on the bucket without teeth on it, and I'll bring it to the club and test it there. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.